What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So we're going to call this segment of my channel Movie Time with Mac, right? And I'm going to explore certain details of my favorite movies that I always go back to, stuff that stuck out to movies in me. And right now I'm going to highlight one of my favorite movies of all time, starring one of my favorite actors, the great Tom Hanks, right? This movie is the movie that really let me know Tom Hanks was that boy. Like, he was one of them ones. Like, Tom Hanks was a dog. Now, I knew that as a kid because I watched Toy Story, right? You know what I mean? And the voiceover work was immaculate, him being Woody. Without question, right? I watched The Green Mile. Phenomenal movie. But I remember when I saw Castaway, dog, this is the first movie that ever made me cry. I knew Tom Hanks was special when he was in his movie, a large chunk of this movie by himself, and he was delivering an Oscar-worthy performance. When I'm talking about the movie pulled at my heartstrings, I'm a young boy. I'm like 9 years old, 10 years old watching it. I had to have been like 9. My little sister was she was like a toddler. So yeah, I had to have been about 9 years old. Man, I started crying watching this movie. So listen, if y'all haven't seen Castaway and you want to watch it, this is a spoiler alert, but I have to reveal what happens in this movie. Tom Hanks plays a character named Chuck Nolan. Chuck lives with his girlfriend, Kelly, in Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, Chuck works for FedEx, right? He works for FedEx and he has plans to marry his girlfriend, Kelly, but work constantly gets in the way of the relationship, right? And to a point, it becomes a little strained because he's always working. This movie really is one of the first movies that highlighted about how sometimes you got to put your loved ones first. You got to put your life before work because work going to keep going. You could die, work gonna find another employee to replace you the next day. The next day they're gonna be looking for somebody new, and hey, they might come to your funeral or 1 or 2 representatives and it be over with. Might put a little clip in the newsletter at work or something like that, or send an email out about your death, and that'd be it, right? But Chuck is dedicated to his job. So during a Christmas dinner, Chuck gets a call to resolve some problem in Malaysia. He got to go to Malaysia for work, right? And he accepts the call and say he's gonna be going. But before he leaves, his woman Kelly gives her grandfather's pocket watch. She gives Chuck her grandfather's pocket watch with a picture of her inside of it, right? So Chuck, oh, cute gesture, you know what I mean? Got my woman in my little pocket watch, got her with me while I'm going on a trip. Can't wait to get back to her because I got a surprise for her. I think he he gave her like a box. It's implied that it's possibly like an engagement ring or something like that, right? But he goes off to Malaysia for work, right? However, en route to Malaysia, the cargo plane that Chuck is on crashes in the Pacific Ocean in the middle of a storm, right? Everybody that was on the plane with him dies. He's the lone survivor. He crashes. Now he goes to some uninhabited island, some island where nobody is living on. And now he's forced to survive on this island with only nature's gifts, coconuts, goddamn salt water, leaves, right? And twigs. And he's forced to also survive with items that wash ashore from the FedEx cargo ship, right? A lot of the FedEx items that was on the ship, they come washing ashore. He digs through these items to try to figure out what he can use to survive while he's there, right? And watching this Tom Hanks in this moment, man, this is the scariest shit I've ever seen. Like, first of all, being in a plane crash, you're thinking you're gonna die. You don't think you're gonna survive. Then when you're lucky enough to survive, everybody else has died. You have no help, nobody to come rescue you, nothing. You're stuck. You don't even know where the hell you are. And then you think like, oh man, I hope somebody finds me. And now you got to survive in the wilderness. You got to put a fire together. You got to stay warm. You got to figure out how to eat. So he's out here trying to catch fish, trying to figure out how to do this, how to survive. We see him struggle, trying to just find food and water when he's there. At one point, he's trying to open up a coconut. Can't even crack the coconut so damn hard. He trying everything to crack it because he thirsty. He want the water inside of it, right? He can't drink the water out the ocean, right? And so he cracks the coconut open, and when he tries to get it, all the water falls out, and he can't really even get none of the water after he spent all that damn time trying to crack open the coconut. And I become disheartened for the brother, right? I get pissed off on him, like, man, you spent all that time trying to get that coconut open. It's hurtful. Then we see him cut his hand trying to make a fire because he's trying to do something. He ain't never done this before. Chuck is not a wilderness guy. He's a dude that lives a home life. He's works for FedEx. He used to bringing the bacon home, working his job. He's not used to living in the wilderness, but he's trying to adapt, right? Messes up his hand, gets blood on his hand. He sees a volleyball, a Wilson volleyball there, right? And he touches the volleyball, and then his blood, a handprint from the blood is on the volleyball. Now he draws a face into the volleyball because now he's lonely. And when you're lonely and you're in isolation like that, you start to become a little paranoid. You have no one to talk to. It's kind of like when people in jail and they in solitary confinement and they start to go crazy once they've been in that situation for a long time. After they've been in there for about 6-7 months, they start hallucinating. They start talking to themselves because the isolation is starting to get to them and play tricks on their mind. Now Chuck has been stranded for a little minute. So now he starts to befriend the ball, talking to the ball, calling it Wilson. He makes a name for the ball called, well, Wilson is the name on the ball, but he starts to really talk to the ball like it's his friend. He puts some little, in front of, to me, make some hair, sticks, what did he stick on top of the volleyball to make some hair, right? But he starts to befriend the ball, and this is when I really start feeling sorry for him because now I know he's losing his sanity while trying to stay alive. Clinging on to the hope. He clinging on to that pocket watch. Because he knows I got to stay alive for my woman. I got to get back to my baby. Listen, I want to marry my woman. I ain't been doing stuff right. This is when movies really tell you to live your life and express your love for the woman that you with or the person that you with or all your loved ones in the correct order because you never know what could happen. He thinking he finna go to Malaysia and he gonna come right back. He go to Malaysia, bro. He gets stuck on this island and now he trying to figure out how to get off. Nobody is nowhere near him to even see him. But he's clinging on to this pocket watch because it's giving him hope that, hey, I'm gonna get back to my woman. I gotta stay alive for her. She looking for me. I gotta stay alive for my baby, for my love, right? Long story short, Chuck spends 4 long years on this island. Nobody comes to rescue him. He attempts to make a raft. Like certain things happen to him while he's there. He gets a bad toothache. He finds a little ice skate. He uses like a rock and an ice skate to knock the tooth out of his mouth. First of all, this shit looks so painful. I wanted to cry for the brother because his tooth was hurting him so bad. He had to knock it out, but he knocks himself unconscious because he used the rock and a skate to knock his tooth out, right? Knocks himself unconscious during this process because he needs to get this tooth out of his mouth, right? Then he tries to make himself a raft where he wants to escape. And then while he's trying to escape, a storm hits and he's unsuccessful in his like trying to use a raft. He makes a raft and he's unsuccessful in his attempt to try to find help on a raft. Then in the process of the storm hitting, he loses the volleyball Wilson. And y'all, I need to tell you something. This one in humanity strikes me when he cries, when he loses this ball, because now he feels like he's alone by himself. This ball has been helping him, cope with what's going on in his life. Now he got all this hair on his face. He looking wild. It's been helping him cope with, hey, I just need something here. It's a semblance of something so I can stay alive, y'all. Man, eventually on a raft, like a cargo ship finds him while he was on his raft, right? And so they get him back to, America. When he comes back, he finds out that the love of his life, Kelly. First, he finds out that he has been declared dead immediately when the plane crash happened because everybody else died. He'd been declared dead. They thought he was dead too. He comes back home and he finds out the love of his life, Kelly, is now married and she has a daughter because she thought he was dead. Y'all, my heart broke for the brother. I'm talking about my heart crumpled. Like I'm a little boy and I'm like, oh my God, the sole reason why he was trying to stay alive, now she's moved on with her life. She's just so shocked that he's still alive. She got all these feelings because she loved him. And she was hoping that he was alive. She tried to hold out hope, but then she just gave up because he's like nothing happened. He hasn't turned up. So she ends up finding another person and they have a daughter, but he's even kind of understanding of the fact from what I remember that, she had unfinished business with him. He's not giving her to go and cheat and be with him. But it's like all of this stuff is happening so sudden. And you see her express like she wants him. She still want to be with him, and they share a passionate kiss. And you thinking, oh my God, but are they going to rekindle their love? But my man Chuck is a good dude, and he say, man, listen, he tell her, you can't leave your family. You got a family now. You got a daughter. You got to stay with them. Basically telling her, listen, I know we was supposed to be this thing. We was supposed to be this, but you got a family now, and you got to be with him and your daughter now. And the fact that he did this, man, is so heartbreaking, man, because you know he really, really loved that woman. But he got to let her go because he knows that, hey, he's doing a disservice to her and her family by coming back and dropping his his bombshell that dropped on her. And now she got to choose between a rock and a hard place. He's like, look, I'm going to eliminate you from making that choice, right? And it was, man, bro, it's so much stuff happened. Then while he's on the island, I forget about this part. There's like a package with like some angel wings, some pink angel wings painted on it. Excuse me. And he never opens this package, right? But after he finishes visiting Kelly and all of that, he drives to Texas to return the angel wing package to the sender. He finding nobody at the house. He leave it at the door with a note telling the person, hey, this package saved my life, because he still clinging out hope for this package. Then he leave in his vehicle. He stopped at like this little crossroads part. It's like nothing is out there. It's like an empty crossroad, right? Then he see a woman. What was her name? Bettina or something like that. He see her in a pickup truck, and she give him information about like where each road goes, and then she drives away. While she driving away, my man Chuck, he notices two angel wings painted on like the back part, the tailgate part of her truck. And then he looks down each road. He trying to figure out which way to go. Before then, he notices some wind blowing back down the road with a girl, Bettina, where she drove off to. And then he turned back in her direction. And he like, with a smile, like, damn, hey, maybe this is a shot at love. I'm supposed to be with her. Her package helped to save my life and keep me alive. Because that package, he never opened it. You know what I mean? He looked at that package with the angel wings painted on it as like as something to push through. Something to push through. So my man Chuck it's insinuated that he finds happiness and he ends up probably with that woman. What's her name? Bettina. I think it's her name. That name is Bettina or something like that, right? I forgot, but I think it is. But anyway, yeah, man. And then I forgot Helen Hunt plays Kelly, his woman Kelly. Chuck's old girl or girlfriend at the time when he's going to the island. But y'all, this movie did something to me. Tom Hanks got busy. But y'all, this movie there, I felt for that brother. Like, just imagine you go off and you lose the love of your life. You come back, and she married to somebody else. That broke my heart. But great movie.